And here she is. It's been a few days. I'm going to sit here and see if I get a few people together with me. We're going to have some quiet time, pondering. I don't know about you guys, but the moon is super powerful today. And I believe that there is an energy of a very strong vacuum effect going on. So that's what I've been feeling. I went to bed last night. I woke up this morning going, what is going on? What is going on? Feeling as if there's still some, for me, it was some grief, some sadness, some old energy that was just floating around trying to gain my attention. So it's been as if there's a vacuum effect. The moon is up there just kind of pulling things up and out. Those blocks of energy, those wounds, those old belief systems. The most important thing is, what do we like to hold on to more than anything? The ego really loves to hold on to the old stories, those parts of us that are have become deeply ingrained. We feel as if we are this, right? We are told that we have a name, a social security number. We have this persona that we take on, and everything feels so real. And it's really not. It's more of an illusional thing. And so the reality is that we are the higher self. We are that beautiful soul that is so connected to Source. But we get very wrapped up in the story. So when we have events like this big, huge super moon that's coming through, it is, even though it feels like, oh gosh, I gotta face all this stuff. There's stuff coming up that I thought I'd already healed, and I don't want to go back there again. It is an opportunity to draw out that old energy that's trying to pull, it's trying to help us. Do you know how the moon pulls the ocean? It's high tide, low tide. It's so powerful. We are just like little planets walking the earth, each one of us. We're little planets, and the moon and the stars and the environment, hi Lauren, and everything around us has an effect on us. And when we have a big super massive moon like this, every full moon really has profound effects on us. And I know for me, I'm always very greatly affected by whatever stage is the moon, especially the full moon. And you know, we know that just by watching. I used to work in hospitals, and every time there was a full moon, all the babies were being born, the people were wild, there was shootings, there was all kinds of just crazy stuff going on because we are so affected. Our little planet of us is so affected by that influx and outflux of energy, pulling us like the tides, pulling us in and out. And so right now it's very much pulling us up. And those energies that we've been storing, the negative energies from our stories, from that persona, the part of us that we believe is so real and we put so much importance on it. I feel, and I'm getting a big hit on this, that there is a true need. Now hear me on this, and I know a lot of people will be very uncomfortable with this. We're coming to a time when the stories need to be put away. When those parts of us that seem so important because we are here and we are physical and we have the, I've been through this and I've been through that, and I can dwell on it and I can tell people, oh my gosh, they'll say, well, this happened to me, and we can try to outdo them. We say, yeah, but I know you had it really rough, but guess what? This is what happened to me. And we love to tell these stories, and sometimes they're beautiful, and the stories can really benefit other people because they're so powerful stories, and people listen to them and they're like, wow, I was experiencing that, and that makes me, and there's an energy in the beauty of the stories that we have experienced. And there's also an energy in the trauma and in the, what is the good word for it? In the record that keeps on replaying over and over again. When a record, when a record is going and it starts skipping, ba-dip, 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 ba-dip. And it doesn't seem to get anywhere. It just keeps on going around. It keeps hitting that same spot. You can't get to the next song. That's where we seem to be I know for me, that's where I am. I can get into those ruts where my needle just kind of keeps circling around the same place and it's not letting me get beyond it. And so this past week, I've been doing exercises. Really, and you get that evil laugh because I feel as if I am ready to release the stories. I'm ready to move past the story of Diane and back into more and more of my soul story, the who I really am, allowing that to come through. So when I'm doing these meditations, especially there's a certain teacher that I've been really listening to, Paul Selig. As he channels, there's a lot of, are you ready to release? Would you like to get permission to release this old story, these old energies? And for me, it's like, yes, I've always been, especially since Steve passed. I go in head first. It doesn't matter. I don't look to see how deep the water is. I'm just going. I'll go. Yes, okay, let's go. I'm always ready. It's part of my soul. Hi, Lisa. So, so as I'm doing these exercises, and he's saying, well, this will completely change you. You need to be, this is your decision whether or not you're ready to let go of the old story. And of course, I'm like, okay, let's do it. So then when it happens, see, I know some of you are like that. Some that'll be watching this, you're the type that are just like, okay, whatever. I love the feeling of source energy. I love the way my abilities keep on bringing me new experiences. I love that. I love to feel as if I'm riding on that high, frequency. And she's a surfer on the high frequency and she's having a blast. That great big wave is just taking me out and I'm just having a good time. The problem is there's some point when our physical comes back in and says, wait a minute, what are you doing? It starts to get scared again. It starts to go, are you really ready to let that go? Are you really ready to have a new story? Hi, Carol. Are you really ready to rewrite your story? Are you ready to let go of all of that old? And so I'm feeling very strongly. And when I go into this subject, my breath gets taken away as if this is what my guides, your guides, are. I gotta allow it to come because it's coming through very strongly. This is what they need us to hear. That, we can stay in physical. It's never been done this way before, so you're in a brand new experience. And so I know you're a powerful soul to be here right now. You get to stay in physical. But the old ways of the story, having that story and being that personality, those are going away. So they take it. This morning I had a very clear visual from my guides. It was as if, okay, you've been saying you're ready to let go of this old story, the old pains. You've been, we can keep talking about them and keep talking about them and keep talking about them, keep dwelling, keep going to those things that hurt us, and we can spend a lot of time in those places, and we're okay. They're going to let us do that if we want to. But if we get to that place where we say, okay, God, I am ready, or source, or whoever you believe, I am ready. I'm ready to just let go of those old stories. I'm ready to evolve. I'm ready for this big shift. I've been preparing for this for probably many lifetimes, and I'm ready to let it go. We will continue then to have opportunities. Our soul, our guides, source will continue to put opportunities in front of us where we will be reminded to let go. Let go, let go. It's all I ever hear. The song Let It Go from Frozen plays in my head every morning when I wake up. Every morning. I don't remember a morning recently where I haven't had that song playing in my head because I like to keep grabbing. I like to keep grabbing this and grabbing that, grabbing that. Today it was my story with Steve. I saw pictures in my memory. It pulled me back into a 4-year beautiful time in a little yellow bungalow and with him. And I wanted to fall back into my grief and my sadness, and I wanted to go back in time and relive that. It was like a vacuum pulling me back in. Please be aware that in this full moon right now, this is an opportunity for all of us to be pulled into a place of where those things that we still cling to, they start coming, they're right here in our face. They're like, are you ready to let this go too? You've let a lot go. I know you've healed a lot. I know you've come so far. But until you can fully be willing to let go of your story and let them take it all and put it in, the vision that I had was like a wooden case And whatever I've let go of, we think that when we let go, it's gone forever. And they were showing me that it's not gone forever. It's just being put away. They're taking it, they're storing it like videotapes. That's what it looked like. Or it actually looked like the reels, like on the old movie projectors. And they were in metal cases. And there in that box was all of my stories. Many, many lifetimes of stories. They were all there. They're not going away so much as we're releasing them from our being right now so that we can move forward into this new energy. We will still have them. You can't remember. Let me compare it to this. You can't really remember what you did in your last lifetime, right? You can't even really remember what it's like to be non-physical. You're so we when we become physical, we get so wrapped up in that physicality and in the story that we have created in this lifetime that total amnesia kicks in, and we might catch glimpses every now and then, and it's really cool. But mostly we're just like in this story. But what they're showing us is this trunk that is full of stories, and they're there. They don't just dissipate into the ethers and never to be seen again when we release them. We have gone through releasing our stories over and over again. Every time we stepped out of physical, we released a story. We let it go. And that story was stored up, and we have access to it in our Akash. We have a beautiful hall of records where we can go and revisit our stories. But what they're trying to give to us now is in this energy that we're doing something that we've never done before. And doing this can feel very, very scary. It is releasing the story while we're still in the story. We're still physical beings. We're not stepping out of our physical being in order to release the story. We're literally releasing the story of this personality. We're coming to that place where we realize that we're so much more than this story. Like it's still kind of there. We're still walking around 3D. We're still trying to have to remember to pay our bills and do the things that other. But I really believe that when we fully make this shift, the story that of this will be stored away with all those other stories in my Akashic records, because I will fully remember while still in physical form. I will remember who I truly am, that I am so much more than this little person. I am so much more than the pain and suffering. As I sat there this morning looking at that little yellow bungalow, feeling kind of sorry for myself for only having Steve for 6.5 years, I realized that I didn't have Steve for just 6.5 years. I've always had Steve. He's always been a part of my existence, and he always will be a part of my existence. He didn't go anywhere. None of us ever really go anywhere. We're still so connected to one another. There's no actual, this is the puzzle for the brain to try to sort out. Even though we feel like we're releasing and letting go of everything that we've ever known, the truth is we're actually receiving everything. By releasing the small story, the big story opens up. Isn't that beautiful to think about? I think I'm just now fully getting into. I love how it comes through to me when I'm sitting here talking to you. We cannot fully come into the story, the big story, the truth of who we are. That big old biography, the realization of how incredible, amazing. There are no words for it. What we really are is not fully available to us. It can't be when we're still stuck in that little story. We aren't the movie character. That's not really who we are. At some point we have to step out of the movie. The movie's come to an end. We've already filmed it. It's done. So we step out of it. We step out of that role. We take off the costumes and we go, oh wait, who am I now? Ah, I'm everything. I can be anything. See, that's where you really begin. This is not an end. Releasing the story is never an end. When Steve released the physical part of him, he did not end. He became everything and anything. He was then again who he truly is. For those of us who have chosen to come into this lifetime at this time with this beautiful energy that we have all around us, that is so giving and so loving and so supportive, something that we've never had in any lifetime on planet Earth. This energy is so incredible. And it's here to hold us through this process. It's here to say, okay, when are you going to let that go? When, here's some more. I know you thought you had it all healed. Here's some more that we're going to give you this big, beautiful, massive moon, and it's going to do the vacuum effect. It's going to pull anything else that you've still got inside of you that is not really in the higher vibration yet. It's not in the higher vibration. But do you know what they do? They take that story, all these little parts and pieces of it that you still got stored up. It's in a lower vibration. It's still in a painful place. But when you say yes, okay, you can have that too. It's hard for me to let go of this. This is a security blanket for me. I'd really like to hold on to this piece of the story. And they're like, but can you let it go? Are you willing to let that go too? Can you trust us to take good care of it? You're not really, it's not like they're just going to take it and throw it out the window. Can you trust us? That's what your guides, your angels, your team is saying today. Will you trust us with your story? And then when you say, okay, I'm willing to trust you. It's not easy. I might cry a little bit. I might have a hard time. But I'm willing to give this to you too. I can see us giving up our teddy bears right now. I used to have this little teddy bear that was worn out. It had one missing eye, and its fur was all worn off of it. It was pretty ugly by the time I got tired of it. I'll tell you, I don't think I ever really got tired of it. I think my mother got tired of looking at it. And at some point it just disappeared. These are not like that teddy bear. You might feel like they're gonna take it away from you and you'll never see it again. But they take it away and they treat it with care. Because every experience that you've ever had is so important and so beautiful. And it feeds into the collective consciousness of all that there is. And so all of that is so perfect and beautiful, and there's no way they would ever just throw it away. They'll take it and they'll wrap it up beautifully. And they'll put it in that hall of records that is you, that is everything that you have ever experienced as a human or any other being that you've ever decided to be. And they'll put it there and they'll save it for you. So that when you're ready to go back and review all of the parts of the lives that you have lived and really experience this once again, and once you're among those that you feel like you've lost and then you realize that there was no losing them ever, you can go back and you go, can you remember? I can see myself now. I can see myself sitting out on this beautiful grassy field. And in front of me is a big white screen. And I'm sitting there and I'm surrounded. Right beside me on this beautiful blanket is Steve. Every Steve he's ever been. He's right there with me, his beautiful soul. And as I look around me, I see every other loved one I've ever felt like I might have lost, that I've separated from in any way. And they are all around me. And they are going to play here. Everyone is honoring me. And they are going to, and I want you to put yourself in this. They're all honoring me and every experience that I've ever had. And they're going to play out all of my most beautiful moments, the moments that I chose to relive. They're going to play it out on that beautiful movie screen for everyone to enjoy. And we can all sit there together. No loneliness, no hurt, laughing, just enjoying each other, enjoying the experiences that I have allowed myself to go through, that I have released so that they can store for me there for this moment. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? So when you're sitting there holding on to your story, parts of that story that are really still hurting you, I want you to try to imagine what it's like when your guides come in, when you're ready, you say, okay, yes, I'm ready to let this go. And they come in and they wrap it all up and they're waiting. They know, because there's no time. They can see you sitting there on that grassy field, knowing that you're going to enjoy all of these stories again one day, reliving everything that you've ever experienced. And in those times when you do that, it's really interesting to imagine that even the most painful things that you've been through in your lifetimes will play out on those screens. You won't hold those back. You won't go, oh gosh, I don't want to relive that again. You'll go, oh, look at that. Look what I did. Pat yourself on the back and say, I survived that. Look what I did and look what came from it. Look how beautiful my life became because of that traumatic event. They will applaud you. in gratitude, deep gratitude, because we are all in oneness together. And every experience that we've ever had or will ever have is all a part of this collective, beautiful experience of unimaginable, massive proportion. Like we can never imagine in our little small selves how amazing these experiences are to those on the other side, and how much we have expanded collectively as a being of all of creation by all of these tiny little experiences that we've had in this experiment of duality. It's just time for the duality to come to a close. We are all connected. We are all one. We all come from the same tree. Those experiences, they all gather together and they become the fruit of the tree. And that fruit of the tree is delicious. Trust me. We have experienced it before. We will experience it again as we release this need to suffer and to have these lower vibrational experiences. They take it and they will put it there in a place of gratitude, in a place of honoring, so that when you're ready to rejoin, when you do step out of physical, and sometimes I really believe that we will experience this in this lifetime, still in physical. That's the miracle of the time that we live in. I know it sounds wild, but it's true. So, take a big breath. Who would like to join me? And we're going to go to this place I want us all to go to, and it will be completely individual for you. I want you to feel that grass, that green grass under your feet for a second. Imagine your feet are bare. You're standing on this cool grass. There is a gentle breeze blowing on your face. It is the perfect temperature. There's nothing that feels uncomfortable to you at this time. You feel absolutely at peace with who you are and everything that you've ever been. And now I want you, as you close those eyes, I want you to imagine that everyone that you've ever deeply loved in any lifetime you've ever experienced is there with you. They're gathered. This is your place. And before you, and if you can do this, you may see a few things. I want you to imagine now for just a moment that beautiful screen, the white screen, is inside of your head. So what you're going to do is you're going to imagine with your eyes closed. I want you to imagine that it's there behind your eyes. And as your eyes are closed, I want you to see yourself looking at that screen. It's backwards. It's behind your eyes, but you can see it. Use that third eye. Turn it right around to the screen. See that white movie screen before you. And take a big breath. Now you can hear, you know what it sounds like when they start a movie. When you're close to the projector, it makes that and then it starts rolling, right? You can hear it going through. So you're hearing that movie start to play. And this is the story of you. Don't push too hard. I just want you to see yourself. I just want you to see yourself there in those places. Maybe they were painful. Maybe you'd like to hold on to them. Maybe they were your greatest joy. It might be childbirth. It might be your own birthing experience. Maybe it's your child graduating from college. Maybe it's you graduating. Maybe it's when you found that true love in your life, the moment you first looked into their eyes. Go to that place that draws you now. Allowing for your guides and angels to be there to support you now. You can feel the energy coming up your legs and into your root. It's supportive. You have so much love around you right now. If you can't feel it, I can promise you, I feel it and it's there. And that love wraps around you. All of those loved ones that were standing around in that grassy field, they have gathered. They're holding you, safely protected. And they're asking you to go to that one place that keeps coming up, that one thing. There's one thing that keeps coming to you that causes you pain, pulls you into grief, makes you feel guilty, shame, blame, whatever it is. And as many, if there's more than one, you're able to revisit any of them that you'd like. And they want you to see it through their lens of love. Only love. They don't judge. You are your own worst critic. They only love you. So allow it to unfold before you. I feel energy in the throat. Feels very much like grief and sadness. Stay there. Don't run away from it. And don't forget to breathe. The energy is very powerful right now. Who's there? Have yourself an experience. Let yourself come back face to face. And as you're there with them, if there's anything that you want to say, if there's anything that you want to experience, now's your time. And just feel that energy as it wraps around you. Very powerful message coming through. These things that you're feeling, they are all physical, part of your physical being. They are a part of your story. It is only a story, just as you used to sit on your grandmother's lap and she would tell you stories. And when the story was over, she would close the book. And you could ask her to reopen the book at any time and she would reopen it. And it would be the same story and you would feel the love in that story. But when it was over, she would close the book and put it back on the shelf again. It didn't go anywhere. It was still right there. She would reopen it anytime you asked her. She loved you so much, and she still does. And all of your guides and everyone that you've ever lost, they're right there. They're right there to keep repeating the story to you with love, through that beautiful lens of love, to tell you how loved you are, how supported you are. But they're asking you on this particular story that still continues to cause you pain, they're asking you now, will you close the book and put it on the shelf? Let them take it. They'll put it in a safe place for you. It's time to close the book. See them who they really are. They're still alive. It was only the physical that was gone, and yes, it hurts to lose that physical, but they are not gone. They are only being their truth. They're flying. They're so alive, and they still support you, and they still love you so much. Are you ready to close the book? They ask, and you can say, either silently or out loud. One way or another, it's okay if you're not ready, but if you are, just say, yes, I'm ready to close that book. And take a big breath. And they take it. Can you feel that lift? There's a lift of energy off the heart right now. Big breath. Just relax into it. And as they take that story, they're putting it in this beautiful cabinet. My grandmother had this cabinet it was all made of wood, and it had little feet at the bottom. It was beautiful wood, and it had curved glass, and it had shelves. It was made for China, but she kept our storybooks in there because the stories were so beautiful, so important, that she would keep them in a beautiful place. And that is what they do for you now. They're putting them in the most beautiful cabinet. You can look to that cabinet anytime you like and say, there's that story. I loved that story so much. That was my favorite story. But I'm going to put it on the shelf for now. And I'm going to create a new story. I'm going to start opening up that door again, and I'm going to let newness in so that I can have more experiences while I'm here. And I can have more beautiful experiences that I've ever had, because the energy on the planet is so giving and so loving. So when I let go of that old stuff, the new stuff has space. And it feels so good when you do that. Just let go. Sit for a minute. We're asking the angels to pull and to work on any residual. So as you release, that residual energy is being cleared up. So if you feel like you've got the vacuum effect going on, that's what they're doing. Drawing it up and out. And as it comes up and out, it doesn't get lost in any way. That pain and the suffering that you are releasing, they pull it up into the light. It's being rebirthed in a way. So it's coming up into the light. And as it does, it turns into a million diamonds, little light diamonds flying above you. And then they sprinkle back down. So I want you to feel that like a gentle rain of stardust falling on you now. How beautiful is that? See it in those eyes of yours that are turned backwards looking in the movie camera. See the screen as this new life begins to unfold. You can see yourself now. You're stepping out, all new. I release, I release, I release. Thank you, Melanie. It's perfect. Releasing the old, letting in the new. So as you're standing there, I see it like, what is that movie where he's standing in the rain, dancing in the rain, and he's just standing there, and these raindrops of golden light are coming down, and he's just, forget the umbrella, we don't need umbrellas, we're just dancing in it. Allow it, all of us together, standing on that beautiful green field, beautiful sparkly lights coming down like rain, golden rain of source energy, falling down on us now. Open your mouth and let it in. Just taste it. Tastes delicious on your tongue. Dance around like little children. Be a child again. Dancing in that rain. You can step in the mud puddles if you want. You can go play in the mud if you want. You can do whatever you'd like. I see some of you just rolling down the hill. You feel so free. Just lay down and roll. It's so much fun, isn't it? Faster and faster and faster, and I hear you giggling as you go. This is the new life that we receive when we let go of the old. Joy, youth, all those wrinkles from all the heaviness, the bent shoulders, it all just starts to go away. You stand up a little bit taller, you feel alive again. That inner child wakens up, and she says, oh, her eyes are full of wonder. And she says, I can imagine my way into the most beautiful new story. It's time. I'm still alive. I'm here. I'm in physical, and I can create something brand new. And so that beautiful energy now is coming up through your feet. Feel it. The earth is kicking into Mother Gaia. So I feel this energy at my feet, and it's coming all the way up, bringing health and vitality and youth back into my body. Take a big breath and just pull it all the way up your spine. Beautiful. Can you see your little child there dancing? You see all of us together and all of our loved ones. All of them. So happy that you've joined them today. So happy to play and to have a good time with you and to see you finally release all that weight you've been carrying. They're so in joy for you. Merlin, of course. Ooh, I love it when Merlin pops in. Merlin loves to bring magic. When we are in our inner child space, imagine yourself, if you can remember The Sword in the Stone, the cartoon movie. It used to be one of my favorites. And he was, what was it? The boy. Like Arthur. Arthur was there, and he was a boy in that. And he was pulled into the water and he was turned into a fish, and he kept doing all these magical, beautiful things. Merlin was showing him what he was capable of. So can you imagine that you are that little child, and you get to be a fish, or you get to be a bird, or yes, he did turn into a bird. All of these things. You are this magical being. You are this miraculous creature. And even though you believe that you are this little small story, once you release it, you can see the possibilities again, can't you? Children have the most amazing imaginations. What they believe is real. They see the fairies, they see the flying horses, they see that. Merlin comes in now because you are in that space of the inner child, and he loves that. He loves to work with your inner child to help you to open up your imagination so that you can create from that beautiful space. So as we let go of the old story, as we're moving the old stories out of our existence, we then come into a place of creating brand new, all of us together. All of us beautiful creators walking the earth, creating magic everywhere we go. I see you walking across the planet. You're leaving little sparkles everywhere you go. Just breathe life into it. Let's breathe life into a brand new existence, all of us together. What do you think? And bring those loved ones with you. And bring those angels and those guides, and bring the magical creatures. Bring them all in. Let's create a world filled with magic. Thank you, Marlon. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, all of you, for joining me today. I want you to feel yourself back in that place again. Feel your feet on the ground. Don't go out into the world quite this much up in outer space. I know you've got to be out there, but asking Archangel Michael to wrap you in protection and love today. And inside of the bubble that he's creating, Merlin is instilling magic. I can see it. So he is filling your bubble with all this golden stardust. He says, take it with you. Use it. Sprinkle it. Share it. Create magic everywhere you go. And as you pick up your hand to him right now, hold your hand up. Just lay it out like that. He lays a wand in your hand. Whatever it looks like, it's up to you. He lays it in your hand. He says, this is yours now. Take it out and create magic today. How beautiful. So take that wand and just see yourself with it in front of you. And everywhere that you spin it around, you're creating this design of stardust and light. You are the carriers of the light. You anchor it here on the earth. You are magical beings. Remember that today. Remember your own power. That's what they're asking you today. Remember who you are. I want you to take a big breath. Feel yourself fully back in your body, all wrapped up in magic. What a beautiful, beautiful time they've given us today. Thank you so much for joining me. How beautiful. Nice. Just enjoying the last of the energy. So beautiful. Please enjoy your day today. Create magic. Don't let the world get you down. Be your magical self. I love you guys so much. I'll see you again tomorrow. Take good care today. Lovely to you. Lovely, lovely Melanie, anytime. So you guys bring this in and I just feed off of it. So please know that you are the magic. Take good care. Thank you, Carol. Talk to you later. Bye.